Hi, my name is Brian Kaplan. Welcome to this week's Ask Brian, part of our weekly newsletter. Remember to sign up for our newsletter. There's a link also to ask a question, and then also to subscribe to the YouTube channel. This week I'm going to try to clear the docket a little bit and hit a bunch of questions all at once. So I'm trying to do them fast. My screen share software only allows me 10 minutes, so I'm going to go through them pretty quick. Okay, here we go. What should I write on my personal statement? So first of all, make sure your personal statement doesn't have any errors. Make sure it doesn't have any misspellings. Make sure if you're saying Johns Hopkins or University of North Carolina is the best possible university and I've dreamed of going there my entire life, don't then send that letter to Johns Hopkins. Also, if you're going to write statements like that, be authentic. Try to be authentic in your personal statement. If you're going to write some gushing statement like that, yeah, at least have it be real. Don't send it to every university. If you have something you have to explain in your personal statement, if it's something very sensitive, then I suggest talking to an undergraduate advisor and they'll help you navigate through that. So if you have some really bad grades because of some really severe personal things, talk with an undergraduate advisor and they will kind of help you navigate that a little bit. Other than those sorts of things, if you're switching programs, if you are in a PhD program of another sort and you're switching into biostat or whatever, you want to really motivate that change in your personal statement. Of course, they're going to wonder why you're leaving a PhD program to join another one, or leaving a field to join another one. If you so other than that, you want to motivate your program of study. If you have any cool hobbies or anything like that, talk about them. And just remember, people review your personal statements at different levels. Some people scrutinize them very heavily, and other people read them very loosely. Don't just reiterate your CV. Don't say, well, when I won this award in 2003 and then I won this award in 2005. I mean, we have your CV. So if you want to talk about the Math Olympiad award you won, talk about the Math Olympiad and why that was special and that was interesting. Don't just reiterate your CV. Okay, personal statements. GREs. Every place reviews GREs differently. Also, there's context, right? If you're from a country that's not a native English speaking country, then your verbal GRE is going to be evaluated differently than a native US speaker's verbal GRE. Okay. Otherwise, I can tell you how I tend to view GREs. I look for something above the median on like the English component, something above the median on the analytic component, and something really high on the math component, 700 or so. They change the scoring system every year, but that's based on the old scoring. But really good on the math, pretty good on the verbal and pretty good on the analytic part, or whatever they change that third section to. They seem to change it a lot over the years. Otherwise, for me, it's more of a triage thing than it is a really useful thing. If you have really low GRE scores, it's going to kind of hard to really to look at that application too carefully. But if you have good GRE scores that are not phenomenal, if you're not like perfect in everything, then I'm going to look at them, make sure they're okay, and then move on to the next thing. So, and we've had people with okay GREs that really were phenomenal researchers. We've had people with near perfect GREs that really struggled in the program. So, they're kind of useful as a triage thing. At least my opinion is they're kind of useful as a triage thing, but they're not an admission standard in and of themselves. And most places don't have fixed thresholds, except they might have some triage thresholds. But you would know if you're in the triage thresholds. They're usually set pretty low because people want to look at the whole apps before they make decisions, and so you would kind of know. Okay, research advice tips for undergrads. Well, ideally you would just want to hook up with a good advisor. Get involved in their research. So what I would say is pick the person, don't pick the topic. Pick someone who's interesting and seems like they would be fun to work with and you would work with well, and they're roughly in your area. Don't narrow down in an area and then find the person to work with. Kind of pick the person first. Hopefully they have a topic that's related to what you're interested in, and start from there. That would be my advice for that. How to start in data science. There's a bunch of related questions. So for example, what if you have no background at all? Then I would say start taking programming. And I mean take programming, don't take programming languages. So don't take how to program Python, take how to program and then maybe that class is done in Python, but the focus is on how to program algorithms, recursion, iteration, that sort of thing. And they might be doing some Python, so you'll be getting a little Python. And then if you want a specific course where you really dig down in Python, then take a separate course on Python programming, but you'll have the fundamentals of programming to build off of. You definitely need some basic math. You need to work your way up at least to linear algebra. Linear algebra, in my mind, is probably the most important math you need to know to do statistics and data science. Let's see. More R. People just can't get enough R. What do you do if you need really a lot of R? And my rule would be follow Hadley Wickham on Twitter. Look at everything he's doing. Read his Advanced R Programming book. Mastering Software Development in R, Roger Pang's new specialization with Sean Cross and Brooke Anderson. Take that. Follow the R people on Twitter. I learn a lot from that, and then once you get to that point, then you can't be asking me, because you need to be telling me what to do, because you know more than I do. Okay, and definitely if you can master all the stuff in Hadley Wickham's Mastering Software, or in Roger Pang's book, then I need to be asking you questions. Okay, not vice versa. Okay, what if you want to work in biostat with a math background and you don't have biology? Well, most biostat programs, that's the norm. So people come in with a math background and no biology. So they have systems in place to help you with that. But biology medicine, that's a huge subject. There's no way anyone would come in with what they need to know. I would also say conversely, if you're really good in biological sciences or biomedical sciences, and you're good at math, you've always historically done good at math, but you've taken a diversion to study biomedical sciences, that's also fine. A lot of programs have ways to kind of build up your math skills, get you in some proof-based mathematics. So in a bridge discipline like biostatistics, no one can come in with all the pieces, so you're going to have to fill in the gap somewhere. But in both cases, it's fine. Don't let that deter you. Okay. What do you want to do if you want to learn some more stats, but you've already taken all the Coursera stat classes and things like that, and you don't want to do a university program or university classes? Do some Kaggle competitions. That's what I would say. Start doing some Kaggle competitions. Do some data analyses that are interesting. Put them on a blog post. Get involved in DataKind or one of these philanthropic data analysis things. So. That would be a great way to do it. You'll learn a lot by, if you've taken a lot of courses, now it's time to do some hands-on stuff, and you'll learn a lot more that way than just taking another class if you've already had a bunch. Okay, well, subscribe to the newsletter, ask some questions, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you next week.